Hello there. Welcome to Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly. I am Dolly Asendu. Do you realize that your marriage could easily be seriously challenged if you and your spouse do not take advantage of this period you're forced to spend long hours together to come closer and improve your relationship rather than bore each other to death? Today's edition of Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly is when you're forced to spend time together. With the coronavirus outbreak making an inroad into our dear country and ravaging the whole world, I hope you and your loved ones are taking the necessary precautions. I hope all you loving couples are doing the same thing to keep you and your family safe, constantly washing your hands, practicing social distancing, and all other measures suggested or recommended to keep you and your family safe. COVID-19 is on the rampage. The corona pandemic is real, seriously. So stay safe, stay at home. Now that many cities are discouraging socialization and many people are forced to stay indoors, couples can easily get bored with each other if deliberate efforts are not made to make the period spent together enjoyable, loving, valuable, and memorable. Experts are saying that the coronavirus lockdown period, when couples are forced to spend long periods of time together, will lead to an increase in divorce rates. Already, there are reports that in China, divorce rates have risen significantly because couples are spending too much time together, having been forced to stay at home. So, how do we face this challenge to maintain our marriage? I think first, we need to remind ourselves of the key things we earlier agreed on this show that are essential for a happy, fulfilling, and lasting marriage. Remember those key things? They are praying, that's praying together, loving, caring, trusting, respecting, sharing, sacrificing, compromising, great sex, having fun, and forgiving. Now, bearing these things in mind, how do you spend long hours with your husband or wife without getting bored or irritated to the point of either wanting to kill yourself or kill each other? Luckily for you beautiful couples, I am an expert at that. You see, my husband and I spent a lot of time together, as divine providence would have it. In the last 30 years of our marriage, we did everything together. We lived in the same house, of course. We shared the same bedroom for all through our married life. We worked together, we socialized together, and we worshipped together. We, of course, lived together for a long time. And it was fun. Challenging? Yes, of course. But we were determined to make it work, so it turned out to be real fun. How did we do it? Now that you both are forced by coronavirus to spend long hours together at home, here are some tips from my experience. First, play a fantasy game. Now, I'm sure that there are some fantasies, some things both of you have been fantasizing about, that you would like to try, in your love life. Now, this is the time to try those things. What we used to do, pick a piece of paper, write a fantasy. Each of you write something, you would like to do with your husband or your wife, and then place it in a bowl, a basket, or a paper bag or something. Just write different things and then just shuffle it. So each time you guys want to spend, quality time together, intimate time, take turns, pick a piece of paper, look at it, and whatever is written there, whether it's his fantasy or your fantasy, just go ahead and try it. That is a beautiful way to spend time together. Also, you can have a massage afternoon or evening. Now, what you do is, take some quiet time together. If you have kids, make sure, you've put them to bed, or if it's in the afternoon, have your quiet time together in your bedroom, and then have a massage. Take turns, massaging each other head to toe, and make sure you're touching every part of the body. Massage each other, use any of the oils, that you prefer, and enjoy yourselves. Usually, when my husband and I massage each other, I like to go first because as soon as I start massaging him, immediately after it, he goes to sleep. So if I don't get him to massage me first, which means I lose out. So that is a very good way of relaxing. Massage each other head to toe. Now, start a new series, a new TV series, or have a special movie night. For instance, do your Netflix and chill thing, prepare some snacks, take some time in the kitchen, prepare, some popcorn or plantain chips or whatever, little bites that you'll enjoy. Now sit down and enjoy a good movie. In our time, we used to enjoy some epic movies, historical movies, documentary films, or romantic films. Now, these days, I would advise have no gadgets around, no phones, nothing. This is not the time to start updating your status or tweeting or trying to check, your WhatsApp messages or go on Instagram or anything like that. Just have quiet time, both of you together, and enjoy each other's company. Another thing you could do is have a party for two. Now, what we used to do is sometimes we'll start with the children when they had grown out a little bit. We'll just have, some music, some dance music, and, the children will be part of it. Now, when it's time for them to go to bed, we put them to bed, and then we can now relax and put on, the songs we like or our best artists, and then we will dance. So what you could do is, have this special time. Let him come to you and say, may I have the next dance? Or she does that. You say, may I have the next dance, my husband? And you do all the different moves you'd like to do. Spend time doing that. Dance until you are exhausted. Have some drinks, have something to eat, and then go to bed. Now, another way to spend special time together this period that you're forced to spend long hours together is to cook together. You remember the old saying that says, the couple that cooks together stays together? Well, it is true. This is the time to try all those recipes you've been, that has been mouth-watering. You've been looking at them and you say, oh, wow. Now, this is the time to try them together. He does the pepper, you do this, you measure out this, and he does that. And you find that, you have a beautiful time together. Now, this one, it's important to make sure the kids are not there because they'll be distracting you. Now, two of you need to spend time doing this, just the two of you. And then when you finish making it, taste it and see how delicious it turns out to be, if it turned out right. And then feed each other, eat in the kitchen, and if, the kitchen play leads to anything else, why not? Also, you could watch TV or listen to the radio together because with everything that's going on in the world, this period you need to keep abreast. My husband and I did this a lot. Of course, being in the media business, we had to keep abreast, we had to listen to radio, we had to watch television, listen to the news. So do that. Now, it's important for you to sit closely together with your bodies touching. And then you can now sit there and just listen or watch TV and see what's going on in the world. Now, ladies, let me sound a note of warning here. Don't be like Dolly. Because there's something I used to do, I do all the time. When my husband and I watch TV like that, I would now carry on, because it's my work, it's my job. I make my living by talking. So I would say, oh, look at that. Oh, the governor said, are you listening? The governor is saying blah, 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 blah. And then next thing I would say, oh, look at that. The president just came back from Kaduna. And I'll say, and then I'll carry on and on and on. And that could be irritating. Then my husband would just pause and say, Dee, do you have to keep running commentary? And I would apologize. And then I'll continue. And then the next moment, I'll catch myself doing exactly the same thing. Now, sometimes, he would just in the middle and just press, you know what, I'm not watching again, you watch. And then later, you can run the commentary by me. So don't do that or try not to do that because it could be irritating. Just have some quiet time. Listen to the news or watch whatever you're watching, together but individually. And then later, you can discuss whatever you watched or listened to on the radio. Another thing you could do this time as a family with both of you and the children is to play games. You could go back to the traditional, games or what you might call the old school games like Scrabble, Whats, Ludo, cards, Monopoly, chess, things like that. Break out all those games, set them out and play with the children and enjoy yourselves. Then of course you have the electronic games, competitive games that you could play on your phone, video games and all that. Now that is an activity that you could do on your own and together too. So try these things. You will find a way to enjoy each other's company during this period that you are forced to stay together. It is important while spending time together too to be able to have some alone time. Now, because it could easily get irritating, or boring if you're always, in each other's face. So sometimes, you could find some activities that you could do individually or independently while still being together. Now, some of such activities could be, for instance, reading a good book. My husband was so good at reading. He read everything he could lay his hands on. I read a little bit, watched more of television because that's my field. But, we would sit down, together, and he would be reading his book and I would do something else. Now, sometimes we could read together. For instance, if we're reading religious books, I could read and he could listen, and sometimes he would read and I would listen. And then later on, we can discuss, what we read. But reading is a very good thing to do. Now, of course, there are audiobooks. So both of you could read, the same book, listen to it together, or you could read different books and just have your headphones on and enjoy your books. Another good way to spend quality time together is to listen to good music. At this point, after being married for a while, both of you would now seem to like the same kind of music. So it's a very good way to relax and take your mind off this whole corona issue, so you can just relax and listen to the kind of music you love. Another thing to do that you could do together or separately is to exercise. If you're stuck, in your apartment or in your room, well, what better way to keep fit than to exercise? So you could do this together, or you could also do it alone. Now, go online and, study, take new courses, learn a new skill. This you could do together or individually also. Use this period to get some certification for a course or something that you've been wanting to do and you've never had the time to do it all this time because of the rat race. So this is a beautiful time to do that, and that's something you could do together. Those are some of the ways that I think that you can spend time together this period. Before we end this segment of today's show, let me say this. This period that you both are forced to spend long hours together can be a fun and memorable time. Realize that the corona pandemic is putting your marriage to test. What will it be? Will you let it ruin your marriage by both of you stifling each other? Or would it bring out the best in you guys, bring you closer and enrich your relationship? The choice is completely yours. Today's quotable is, a happy marriage is when a couple is happy spending time together even when one of them is asleep. And now we go to our Ask Dolly segment. Welcome to the segment. We appreciate, you're sending in your questions. Unfortunately, we have so many questions, but we have so little time. So we're just going to take one question today, and it's from a lady. Let's hear it.
Dear Auntie Dolly, my husband and I have been married for about 5 years now. Right from the time we married, I noticed that he would throw his shirt, trousers and shoes wherever he likes in the house. He even undresses in the parlor and leaves everything there. I have talked and talked, but he refuses to change. Now we have 2 children and it is too much for me. Will he ever change? What can I do?
Well, my dear, I can feel your pain. Apparently, you have gone and married one of those types, or fallen in love and married with one of those types. But I'm assuming that you knew he was like this when you guys met, because you said he's been doing this right from the beginning. Now, the time that you would have gotten this nipped in the bud would have been at the beginning, where you point out that, look, this is not, making you happy and all that. And maybe he would have changed at that time. But now that it's like this and it's taken so long, I doubt that he's going to change. So my advice would be to find a nice way of accepting it. But first, talk with him. I don't know if you've sat, you say you've talked and talked. Maybe you've been talking with anger, disappointment, disdain. That may not work. It will turn out that you are nagging him in his own home, and it may get him so irritated that he stops coming home. And you don't want that to happen. So what I would do would be talk with him in a very nice manner, explaining that now that the children are here, that you don't really mind doing it, when you didn't have children. But with the children now, it's so much for you. Now, if he doesn't listen, what you need to do is to treat it with some love. Give it some love. Now, how do you do that? When he comes home and you see him, he's now undressing and removing his shirt. Catch him before he does all the undressing. And say, ha 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 ha, darling, please, don't remove your shirts here, please. Go to the bedroom now, push him, gently with love, pull him, by his trousers and, something, and move him to the bedroom. By the time you do this 1, 2, 3 times, he would understand it. He would start remembering. Then another way is, if he's removed it and you didn't catch him before he removed them, as he removes his shirt and he removes his trousers, pick it up and give it to him. And say, honey, please help me. Take this to the laundry room. I'll come and, launder them later on. And, just give it to him. Please help me take these things inside. And he'll do that. By the time he does it once, twice, the next time he's about to do it, he'll just say, she will now say, I should take this thing. I might as well take them in myself. So sorry, that's all the questions we can take on our Ask Dolly segment today. But please keep the questions coming in. We'll select, the ones we think we can put out, and all of us will benefit from them. With that, we come to the end of today's edition of Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly. Don't forget, our episode for today was When You're Forced to Spend Time Together. Now, if anything you heard on the show today resonated for you and you feel you can take it home, then please don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. And please don't forget to like our Facebook page, share and send in your comments, because we'd like you to engage with us and let us know what you're thinking and how you feel about every edition of our Knowing Me, Knowing You with Dolly show. We'd like you to be a part of our team. So till we come your way again this next time, I want to say a big thank you for being out there. And don't forget, until we see again, remember the coronavirus is out there. The COVID-19 pandemic is real. Take it seriously. Stay safe, stay at home. Love you guys.